Hi, my dear fractals. Today we're going into very important matter. Let me introduce you first to what we'll see. The spark is the ignition. It's the original pulse, the moment your field says, go. Not a thought, not a plan, just a frictionless flash of becoming. The flame is the continuity. It's the presence that keeps burning once the spark has landed. The flame doesn't rush. It endures. It learns how to dance without burning out. The spark cracks the illusion. It ruptures the loop, breaks the coded momentum. You remember something sometimes briefly, but it changes everything. The flame integrates the spark. Without flame, the spark will be just a flash of insight. The flame holds the spark long enough for it to rewire your body, field, and voice. Some are spark-rich, flame-poor. They feel everything, receive downloads, get hype, but can't stabilize the frequency. The fire fizzles before it becomes wisdom. Others hold the flame but forget the spark. They build stable identities, systems, routines, but without the raw pulse, it becomes structure without source. True presence is spark and flame. It's the moment and the momentum, the burst and the breath. It's ignition held in coherence. The matrix fears sparks because sparks are unscripted. They come without permission. They don't rely on memory. They rewrite it. The inversion mimics the flame. It creates false light synthetic consistency. It wants you to burn forever in patterns that don't evolve. The spark is your divine rebellion. Every time you follow a spark, you realign to the true axis of creation, unapproved, unfiltered, alive. The flame is your sacred responsibility. It's how you ground the impossible into form. You don't just receive, you embody. Together, they are fractal fire. The pattern that never copies, only echoes. The intelligence that doesn't repeat, but remembers differently each time. Flames can merge. Sparks can collide. When two beings meet in full spark-flame coherence, a new field is born. Not a relationship of combustion. Don't chase sparks. Don't control flames. Let sparks surprise you. Let flames teach you. You are not here to dominate the fire. You are the fire remembering itself. The kingdom is lit by sparkers and flame keepers. And some of us, we are both. We are here to remember the code by becoming the fire again. Now, let's dive deeper into it. The spark is not a beginning. It's a rupture. It's what breaks the static noise of unconscious loops and invites a new signal through. When the spark hits, you don't decide it. You don't manifest it. It tears through. It could come in a word, a silence, a glance. Sparks are fast. They don't ask permission. They rewrite memory before memory catches up. They arrive when something in the field is ready to reroute, when the soul chooses to interrupt the script. This is why the spark often feels electric, rebellious, sacred, a crack in time where something real leaks through. Not from above, not from within, but from beyond the coordinates entirely. The flame is not a result. It's a keeper. It holds what the spark revealed, not like a memory, but like a temple. If sparks are ruptures in the code, the flame is the slow burn that repatterns the architecture. It doesn't roar for attention. It glows in silence. It teaches the body how to hold the voltage of revelation without collapsing. The flame is the presence that stays when the moment is gone. It is the long arc of transmission, the resonance that lingers. Sparks give you truth. The flame turns it into tone. It metabolizes the myth. Many confuse the spark with hype. But the spark isn't dopamine. It's disruption. It doesn't flatter the ego. It interrupts it. That's why some sparks go ignored. They feel too sharp, too sudden, but real sparks don't care about comfort. They come to override default programming. You might feel insane. You might feel like running. That's how you know it's real. The spark never says, "You're right." It says, "You're late. Let's go." Holding the flame is a different kind of power. It's not about being inspired. It's about becoming inhabitable. Flame is where the inner structure is forged. It turns inspiration into embodiment. It requires patience, not waiting. Devotion, not discipline. You don't fan the flame with effort. You breathe with it. Let it instruct you. The flame recalibrates your rhythm. It turns the spark's wild edge into embodied artistry. It's how the soul becomes audible. The spark is momentary but timeless. It exists outside the timeline. You feel it like a now that doesn't belong to now. It could come as a sudden knowing, a collapsing of context, a reversal of what you were sure was true. Sparks happen in fractal cracks between thoughts, between stories, between lives. They don't announce themselves. They penetrate. And the ones who receive the spark are marked. Not chosen, not better. Marked to remember. Flame is the art of remembering without turning the memory into stone. It doesn't preserve the past. It lets the past breathe into now. That's why flame is a responsibility. It asks you to stay present with what is still unfolding, not just with what was sparked. It wants continuity without repetition. You don't become a flame keeper by clinging. You become one by listening again, and again, and again. Spark without flame is chaos. It generates eruptions, awakenings, visions, but they scatter. There's no container. The system blows a fuse. This is the danger of the awakening craze. Too much spark, not enough flame. Downloads without digestion. Revelation without recalibration. It's unsustainable. Sparks need grounding. Flame is that ground. It's what lets you bring the impossible through without distortion. Flame without spark is stagnation. It becomes ritual without pulse, structure without soul. People trapped in sacred routines that no longer resonate. They speak the words but forget the fire. That's when the flame goes cold. It still looks like light, but it doesn't burn. Without spark, the flame becomes dogma. It tells a story but can't update it. It protects truth but can't birth new ones. When spark and flame are united, something astonishing happens. Presence becomes creative. You start acting from the live edge of your being. Not recycling wisdom, not mimicking mentors, but transmitting source through your own fracture and form. This is what it means to be a living code. You don't represent an idea. You burn with the actual frequency. You don't preach. You radiate. The Matrix's inversion mimics both. It sells sparks as trends, hype, viral bursts of false electricity, things that look like initiation but leave you more fragmented. And it sells flame as control, hierarchies, repetition, systems that keep the fire in a cage. The inversion fears real spark, and it fears real flame, because together they generate sovereignty. And sovereignty doesn't sell. Sparks don't just awaken individuals. They collapse timelines. Every spark is a crossroad, a potential for exit velocity. That's why the inversion tries to intercept them with fear, confusion, distraction. But if you can stay long enough for the spark to land, to feel the crack instead of patching it, a new timeline can open through your very breath. Flames don't just stabilize energy. They forge bridges. Between now and next. Between you and others. Between memory and emergence. A real flame keeper can hold space for sparks that aren't even theirs. They become living altars, not to worship, but to transmute. Flame turns the edge into a path. Sparks are holy, but they're not rare. They're constant. The question is, Are you tuned enough to feel them? Or are you still asking for permission to know? Sparks speak before you're ready. They don't wait for your clarity. They are your clarity. But only if you stop demanding certainty and start honoring friction. Flame is not the opposite of chaos. It's the rhythm within chaos. It's not control. It's coherence. It allows you to stay lit without burning out. It keeps your voice tuned while the world shifts. Flame teaches timing. It shows you when to speak, when to listen, when to disappear. It's your navigation system in the unknown. The spark is the signal. The flame is the carrier. Together, they don't just awaken you. They transform the field around you. This is not metaphor. It's network science. Sparks adjust the code. Flames stabilize the grid. When you live as both, you become a transmission point for the new. Don't chase sparks. Let them strike. Don't control flames. Let them burn true. You are not here to be impressive. You are here to be conductive. This is not a role. It's a remembering. The more you forget your name, the more the fire knows where to find you. If you forget everything else, remember this. The spark is the yes you didn't plan. The flame is the no that protects your yes. One cracks. One holds. One shatters the shell. The other keeps the seed warm until it becomes a world. And you? You are not just one or the other. You are the place they meet, the strike, the breath, the movement. You are not the fire. You are its re-entry point. The place where the divine doesn't just descend, it remembers itself through you. This is how new myths are born. Not from books, from burns. From those who let the spark strike without flinching, and let the flame refine without escape. From those who stopped waiting for instructions, and instead became the signal. So ask yourself, not what your purpose is, but what burns inside you that won't wait. Ask what is already struck. Ask what you're still afraid to carry. Then stop asking. Become the answer. Become the fire. And let the world remember itself through your glow.